Welcome to another Robot Wars Grand Champions. If you like metallic mayhem, if you like robotic airtime, if you like slicing and dicing, and burial in the pit, you've come to the home of destruction. It's Robot Wars.
Six robots enter the ring. Only one will survive to fight again. This is Robot Wars Grand Champions. I'm your host, Joni, set to bring you all the action. These robots are all fired up and looking to prove that they belong at the next level. To do that, they're going to have to fight it out. Let's not wait any longer. Let's let them loose.
All right, Joni, last time on Robot Wars, Spawn of Scudder dominated the opposition and bought themselves a trip to the semifinals. Today on Robot Wars, it's 6 bots going down for 1 place. And today's fights will include Sir Chromalot, Scorpion, and Reactor. But first up, the Steel Avenger, Wild Thing, and Humphrey.
From Colchester, Steel Avenger.
Well, the Steel Avenger, it's got aluminum and steel polycarbonate shell, an axe, a saw, and if it ever gets dusty, they're going to be prepared.
Hi, I'm John Willoughby. I'm team captain of the Pneumatic Fanatics.
Hi, I'm Kevin Cockrell, and I operate the weapons.
And this is Tony Bates, our third team member, who's on his way at the moment. This is our robot, the Steel Avenger. We've got a front-cutting blade. We've got a very powerful pneumatic axe this year. And the big improvement is we've now got an uprighting mechanism.
And this is our lucky mascot, which we hope to clear up in the arena with.
From Aldershot in Hampshire, Wild Thing.
Wild Thing, in at 168 pounds. It's got an aluminum shell, a couple of go-kart wheels, and a multi-purpose lifter arm lance to stab and self-right.
I'm Nick Adams, and I'm here with Jake and Isabel and our robot Wild Thing.
Last Wars has arms at the back, this Wars is at the front, and it can self-right us, lance other robots, and tip them up.
In last Wars, we managed to get into the last 16, but this year we're seed 11, we hope to go all the way.
From Newark in Nottinghamshire, Humphrey.
Humphrey in at 176 pounds with a lifting arm made from a car jack, 3 24-volt motors. Let's see if they're going to bogart the semifinals board.
Hello, my name's Helen, this is Nick, and this is our robot Humphrey. To the uninitiated, it's got all sorts of goodies, and as they say, watch out, there's a Humphrey about.
The drive basically is 2 gearboxes made from lawnmowers. They've got 2 24-volt motors and these 2 wheelbarrow wheels. It's got a turning circle of 0. It'll do a top speed of about 6 miles an hour, and this has lifted a car up by the dent there. But watch out, it's got a very nasty sting in the tail.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Steel Avenger with John Willoughby, Kevin Cockrell, and Tony Bates. And Wild Thing with the Addams family, Nick, Isabel, and Jake. And there's Humphrey with Helen Kerfoot, Robert Holmes, and Mick Kerfoot.
2, 1.
Here we go for the first battle. All you need to know is 2 of these guys are going to go through to the next round, and 1 unfortunate bot will not. Wild Thing trying to angle for some position out there. Steel Avenger looking large and cumbersome, but making sure things are going to stay tidy with that feather duster as Wild Thing pushes them around. Wild Thing, lighter than any other bot in here, doing most of the aggressive work so far. Humphrey hasn't really been in it yet. See, they've got some vicious-looking spikes on the front of that. If they get any speed up on that thing, they may do some damage. But Wild Thing drags Steel Avenger over to the corner patrol zone. She's got him up against the rail, but look at that lifting arm. If he can get that underneath, Steel Avenger, they're out of there. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of pneumatic power on that lifting arm, but certainly a lot of drive force. Wild Thing's got it all. I think I love you. Steel Avenger now has got some major speed out of the arena. Got off of the wall. Oh, and Matilda lost the feather duster. That was their lucky feather duster. That's what I call fighting dirty. Meanwhile, Humphrey is getting dragged around by Dead Metal. Matilda has a little dig at Wild Thing. And there's Dead Metal burying the saw into what looks like an immobilized Humphrey. Who would have thought he had so much power in the beginning? Well, there's Sergeant Batch with the pincers. And there's still a battle going on out here between Steel Avenger and Wild Thing as Humphrey gets decimated by the housebots. A real unlucky stroke for them. Must have been a little mechanical breakdown. And Sergeant Bash and Dead Metal are going to take full advantage. So they love a little bit of carnage in this arena. The big tussle is Wild Thing and Steel Avenger still, as you see the Kill-A-Lot cam and Humphrey's airtime in the background. Matilda goes in to get a little dig with those tusks. All the Humphrey team can sit and laugh and say, play it again, Sam. But at least they got a good sense of humor. They'd have to go out that early in the first round, and it's all over. Humphrey's out of there. Wild Thing and Steel Avenger go through. Sir Chromalot, Scorpion, and Reactor next up after the break. Welcome back to Robot Wars. So far, Humphrey got sent back to Casablanca, courtesy of Robo Air. So who's gonna be next? Well, one of these three will get sent home as well if they can't make the grade. Sir Chromalot, Scorpion, and Reactor.
From Nutley in East Sussex, Scorpion.
Nutley? Well, Scorpion looks more like a lower intestine to me, but it's got two electrically powered chainsaws for weapons. Let's see what they can do.
Hi, I'm Jeff. This is my teammate John, and here is our robot Scorpion. We have chainsaws, we have cutting discs, and at the rear, we have the sting in the tail. This, we hope, will do some serious harm.
From Birstall in Leicestershire, Reactor.
Reactor in at 177 pounds. These guys mean business. Just look at the flipper on the front of that thing, and it works as a self-rider as well.
Hi, my name's Russell Orton. This is my son Daniel. This is Martin Crouch, my third team member. And this is our robot, Reactor. It's built of steel, it's full integral chassis, it has custom-built wheels and uses wheelchair technology. We've got a front-lifting weapon, which is powered by CO2, which we're confident is going to lift all the other robots and flip them over. It's powered by two 24-volt electric wheelchair motors, and is built with steel and aluminium. We're confident we're going to do well, and we're going to trash the other robots.
From South Ockenden in Essex and seated number 27, Sir Chromalot.
Well, I don't know if Sir Chromalot knows something I don't know, but that's an awful high center of gravity on that robot. They used a big old truck wheel for the body on the bottom and some drills.
Hi, we're Sir Chromalot. Here's our machine. On the front, we've got a stainless steel cone, a cobalt tip in the front of it. At 10 miles an hour, this will pierce anything. On the side of it, we've now fitted a drill, same as the Kill-A-Lots, only our one's better.
In the last war, we got flipped over, so we've added this. This will only allow the robot to lay on its side, and also with these legs, it will flip back up, so we can carry on.
We're a class act, and this is going to be devastating.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there's Scorpion with Jeff Smith and John Bell. And Reactor with Daniel and Russell Orton and Martin Crouch. Sir Chromalot with Steve Merrill and Dave Whitehead.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
All right, it's the same as before. Two of these bots are going to go through to the next round. One unfortunate one will go back to the scrap heap. Who's it going to be? Reactor's looking fierce out there. Sir Chromalot doesn't appear to have any major mobility with that high center of gravity, but we've got a three-way tussle in the middle of the arena. Reactor getting right under Scorpion with that lifting arm. Let's see if they can get any power under it. We haven't seen it in action yet, so we actually don't know. Scorpion's useless with those rear blades, but look at that. Reactor Reactor gets right under Scorpion and puts him on his side. Not much of a self-righting mechanism for Scorpion. It could be all over for what looks like a very unprepared Scorpion. Sergeant Bash comes in to just nudge him a little to let him know it's almost near the end. Sergeant Bash with those pincers. The best way to deal with a Scorpion is cut the tail off. And that's exactly what Bash is doing. But he's going to drag him across the arena first. Oh, the Scorpion team are demoralized here. They thought they were in for a better chance than that. But Dead Metal's gonna let him know they weren't as he buried the saw right into him. Look at that tail off a Scorpion just laying there in the arena as Bash wants to heat up the shell. Anybody for some extra crispy Scorpion? I think Chromalot wants some. Oh, he doesn't like the taste. I think he's gonna have to bury it. Well, Chromalot at 616 pounds is making his presence known here as he's lifting Scorpion up like a feather duster. And it's all over as the Reactor and Chromalot teams celebrate. And of course, they're celebrating this, Scorpion's demise, as Chromalot and Reactor go through to meet either Steel Avenger or Wild Thing.
This is In Your Face Mechanical Mayhem, and we're just getting started. Stick around.
Welcome back to Robot Wars Grand Champions. Before the break, we saw Scorpion get the sting taken out of him with a little help from the Housebots. So here's how it lines up for round 2. Sir Chromalot will go up against the Steel Avenger, but first, Wild Thing against Reactor.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there's Reactor, who survived the first round without having to do much. That lifting arm was supposed to be a threat. And there's Wild Thing, with that big old spike on it. They'll be cruising for a robo-bruising.
2, 1.
Wild Thing immediately goes right into the side of Reactor, gets that spike combination lifting arm up. Wild Thing's underweight compared to Reactor by at least 10 pounds, but you wouldn't know what to look at him because they are dominating Reactor, pushing him around. Look at the spinning agility on Wild Thing. A lot more movement that we're seeing out of Reactor. Our Reactor knows well enough to get out of that corner patrol zone, but Wild Thing is just on him like white on rice. As he pushes him right into Bash's corner patrol zone, Reactor better get out of there. And he does. Wild Thing has got so much speed. Well, these guys are going to be the force to be reckoned with, because Reactor's just falling victim to Wild Thing's strategy of pushing him into every corner patrol zone and let the Housebots take care of the opposition. Well, that's a good strategy if you ask me. And it seems to me they might have just done that because Reactor has got about half the speed he started out with. Reactor's just getting pushed around from the beginning to the end. And it's probably the end for Reactor as the crowd knows it. They're begging for some pit action as Wild Thing gets a long run at Reactor and goes nose to nose. Well, I'll tell you, Wild Thing may not have used that spike and lifting arm too much, but they certainly have impaled Reactor with its pushing power. Just look at the power on that thing. Maybe 10 pounds lighter, but he's just moving them all over the arena and into the wrong place at the wrong time as Dead Metal drags it back into the corner patrol zone and Wild Thing gives up a little help as well. Wedging him over. Wow, Wild Thing's been trying to get him out of the arena since the beginning of this battle. As that saw blade goes down into Reactor, quite a tough shell on him. Dead Metal wasn't able to penetrate as Wild Thing's taking early victory laps. Well, it may be too soon, but I think it's a safe bet. Look at that saw. What do they make this thing out of? Well, even though Reactor spent most of its time in the corner patrol zone getting brutalized by the Housebots, he's still moving, which means it's going to have to go down to a judge's decision. But if I was a judge, this would be a real no-brainer. Reactor was just helpless. Well, you didn't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. Wild Thing goes through to meet either the Steel Avenger or Sir Chromalot. Up next.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Sir Chromalot and the monkey suit boys. And there is Steel Avenger. Well, they put their feather duster back on. Let's see if it helps them.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Well, Steel Avenger looks like he's a lot heavier than Sir Chromalot, but it's actually the other way around. Sir Chromalot's just sitting there looking like a buoy in the harbor as Steel Avenger, with all the agility, all the speed, and all the power, dominate the arena. And certainly Sir Chromalot better come up with the goods as the Steel Avenger's axe just goes down and tries to bury inside of Sir Chromalot. Well, that axe could be a mean weapon if they can connect with it. But what has Chromalot got to fight with? That's what I want to know. He's got some spikes, but he needs the speed to bury him into anybody. Well, he's not getting any speed today, but he might get a burial because there's that siren for the pit. The audience knows the end is near. Steel Avenger wasn't able to bury that axe very much, but he certainly controlled this bout all the way from the beginning. Sir Chromalot looking helpless out there in the middle of the harbor. Maybe that feather duster was good luck for the Steel Avenger team, because the audience senses a pit. Oh, look at that bent drill off the front of Chromalot. Well, it never did very much good anyway. And oh, there it is. You can't self right out of that pit. So it's back to the round table for Sir Chromalot. Steel Avenger and Wild Thing go up for the final of Heat M.
Wild Thing head-to-head with the Steel Avenger, two badass robots on a collision course. Our final battle of the night next.
Welcome back to Robot Wars Grand Champions, where it's final time for Heat M, where Wild Thing took out Reactor in the earlier round. And then Steel Avenger made Sir Chromalot a piece of history. So here it is, it's final time with Steel Avenger going up against Wild Thing.
From Colchester, Steel Avenger.
Steel Avenger, I think that feather duster's been the difference here.
From Aldershot in Hampshire, Wild Thing.
Wild Thing with all the speed and agility. We haven't seen anybody moving as quick today as Wild Thing, with Chromalot looking on. There's Steel Avenger with John Willoughby at the controls, Kevin Cockrell running the weapons, and Wild Thing with Nick Adams at the controls and Isabel on the weapons.
2, 1, activate.
Here we go for the final of Heat M. It's gonna be a high-speed tussle. You can tell from this already. Wild Thing gets that spike and lifting arm up immediately and tries to penetrate through that plexiglass shell of Steel Avenger, who's up on two wheels and back down again. Wow, Wild Thing's running circles around the Avenger boys. Well, that axe on Steel Avenger is just dying to bury itself into Wild Thing if they could just get the mobility to move around and get in the right place. But Wild Thing's not letting them have anything easy today. Wild Thing right under the side. As long as he stays on the side, he's got the right strategy. But that axe goes down into Wild Thing and doesn't go through. Well, both of them, the finalists of Heat M, are looking mighty speedy, mighty agile. Let's see if they can do the damage now. Wild Thing's been the aggressor from the beginning, pushing just like he's done at every round before. The Steel Avenger, on the other hand, needs some tactical movement to get him into this bout, or it may be over before they even start. They've got all kinds of speed, all kinds of power, low center of gravity, everything you need. But look at that. Wild Thing just goes right up underneath and just piles over Steel Avenger. Steel Avenger all over in a big old mess. Well, there's supposed to be a riding arm on this thing, but it looks immobilized as Sir Chromalot goes in with the pincers, and he's crushing that poor body of Steel Avenger, who seemed to be completely out of it. As the pit goes down, the audience wants to see a burial. Steel Avenger didn't show much in this round, or Wild Thing was just so dominant when the housebots back up and let Wild Thing have the honors. Winner of Heat M, Wild Thing, go through to join the prestigious semifinalists.
Wild Thing, I think I love you. The Wild Thing takes down the Steel Avenger and becomes the latest addition to the all-star list of semifinalists. I'm your host, Joni, and there's only 3 spots left for the next round. Who will be in? Find out on the next exciting episode of Robot Wars Grand Champions.
All right, next time on Robot Wars Grand Champions, you're going to see Behemoth, Arnold Terminator, Rambot, and then Exterminator, Judge Shred 2, and Millennium Bug.